Hello, John Russell here again, internationally known professional psychic, paranormal investigator, and published author. I promised you in the last video that I was going to tell you about my sacred moment with a taco. When I was a kid and I was sick, which I was most of the time, and if I ever had an upset stomach, I could eat Mexican food and it pressed the reset button. Boom. My upset stomach went away. I instantly felt better. And that's true for me my entire life. And as I matured, I developed a cast iron stomach. I can eat and drink anything in any combination, never get sick, never be nauseated, never throw up, never have any digestive problems or anything else. So I'm very lucky in that way. I have the stereotypical cast iron stomach. But every great now and then, I just need that reset. I need that Mexican food. And my Mexican food has been my favorite food my entire life. So I'm always telling people when you eat, turn off the TV, put away your cell phone, don't have any music going, don't have a bunch of noise around you. Obviously, I'm talking about if you're at home, not out in a public restaurant. But try and do that the next time you make yourself a meal at home or have a meal delivered or whatever. Get all the distractions quietened. And then close your eyes as you're about to take a bite of the food. And take a bite of that food. How hot is it, temperature wise? What's the feel on your tongue? Can you identify any of the spices in it? What does it really taste like? What does it remind you of? Does it bring any memories back to you? Savor that mouthful. Savor the aroma of that food. Do that for every subsequent bite of everything on your plate. We learn to appreciate the thing that gives us nutrition and sustenance and keeps us alive, literally. So that's one thing I've always asked people to do. But today I had an epiphany while I was eating my tacos for lunch. I had ordered tacos from Taco Bell and had them delivered, and I'm celebrating that my cardiologist visit today went well. My heart's still in good shape. Everything is fine. And I know some of you are out there going, yeah, John, if you want to keep in shape and keep fine, you quit eating that junk and you got to do this. You got to listen. You eat what works for you, and this is what has always worked for me. My cholesterol has always been average to low. All my blood levels have always been perfect. So it works for me, okay? We're going to do a little aside then. Let's take a little side road down there before we get back to the sacred taco moment and talk about food and diet and health. My motto, my credo has always been eat healthy, die healthy. Eat happy, die happy. Look, no matter what you eat or drink or don't eat or drink, you're going to die. Most of us at about the same time in about the same shape. Now, if your doctor has told you, look, you've got to stop eating this, or you need to eat this, or you need to do that for your health's sake, here's the blood work, here's the levels that show why, absolutely, listen to that. But otherwise, realize that for most of us, genetics are what will out above everything else. There was at Angelo State University, where I grew up in San Angelo in Texas, there was a Roy E. Moon Distinguished Lecture Series. And at the time, this is decades ago, and at the time, these guys had made a breakthrough in the research of cholesterol and diet and so on and so forth. And the takeaway, if you will, from all of their research and from their lectures and everything they presented was that one guy was as skinny as a rail and ate a diet that would make a bird proud, seeds and grains and nuts, whatever, and had consistently high cholesterol. His partner, a little bit overweight, my dog barking on the truth, his partner, a little bit overweight, ate a diet that he said would make a cattle rancher proud. His cholesterol was consistently normal to low. Alberto Salazar, one of our greatest American marathoners, healthy from the get-go, have that gift and that talent to run long distances from the get-go. As he grew up and developed in the sport, had access to the greatest medical doctors, the greatest medical treatment, the greatest nutrition, the greatest, most scientific training. Boom, massive heart attack. And his doctor said, it's genetics. You can't outrun your genetics. Here's an example of a guy, the doctor said, that did everything right. All the finest nutrition, all the finest exercise, all the finest health care, all the finest sports research and medicine and everything. And boom, can't outrun your genetics. So there you go. But anyways, back to the taco. I did something I've never done before. I always appreciate my food. I like the aroma. I like the smells. I like the taste. I like the feel. Food makes me feel good. I've always enjoyed food since I was a kid. But I did something I've never done before. I bit into that taco and I focused on this particular bit of lettuce that I crunched into. And I allowed myself to visualize this lettuce growing out in the field, being irrigated, being fertilized, probably being insecticide sprayed over it to get rid of the pests that would devour it. There it's growing in the heat of the day, the cool of the night, the rain. Maybe there's a thunderstorm and lightning, maybe some winds, the clouds going by. That piece of lettuce wound up in my taco. And as I crunched into that, I imagined that lettuce's life, and it is life, out in the field as it grew and what it experienced and then was harvested to bring something to me that I love to taste and I love to smell and love to feel and experience and enjoy. I bit into the meat and savored the meat, and I realized that meat came from a sentient being on this planet that was birthed, raised, grew up, and was slaughtered and killed and processed for the enjoyment of my taco meat. That's pretty heavy. Every single thing about that taco grew, had a life, had some energy, some essence that was taken away from it, that I might enjoy that and that I might live, that I might sustain life on this planet. That's pretty heady. You think about the flour that was the grains, the wheat that was grown to make the flour for the tortilla shell, for the taco shells. Everything had a life. Everything was grown. Everything was processed. Everything was handled by human hands. People went out in the field and harvested that lettuce, whether it was done mechanically or by hand, that I might enjoy it on my taco. Think about the lettuce itself from a seed. Lettuce seed was planted, and from this little strange object, this head of lettuce grew. What a miracle! What a blessing! What a phenomenal thing! I know at this stage of the game we could get into the slaughter of cattle for our food and vegetarianism versus meat eating and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go there now, although that's a good topic for discussion. And I'll give you some thoughts on that too at some point. Some of the things I've learned over the years and has kind of been revealed to me. But for right now, think about that. The next time you crunch into something, think about where that lettuce came from. Next time you carve that steak up, think about the animal that died that you could eat that steak and enjoy it. The next time you eat any vegetable or anything that we consume, think about that first was a seed, that grew, that came up out of the ground, that it endured days and nights of rain and stars and sun and moon and clouds and winds and all of these things, all of these miraculous, wonderful miracles to come to our table so that we could enjoy its aroma and its texture and its taste. Man, every bite I took on a whole new meaning for me today. Truthfully, a sacred moment with a taco. Go and think about that when you eat. And think about the things that we take for granted on this planet that are such wonders and such miracles. Let's get back in touch with that, and let's not lose it. I'm John Russell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. It's given you some good food for thought, and I'll talk to you again soon. God bless. Bye-bye.